Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being on the call with me. It's Sunday evening, 10 p.m. in the UK. It's time for another Wealth Warriors presentation. And being a Sunday, we're going to go through the standard setup of Wealth Warriors, who we are, what we do, why we do it. And hopefully by the end of it, you will have some information about the setup we have for Wealth Warriors and why then you should look at getting involved with us. So the first thing I'm going to do is switch over my screen and start a presentation. It's a PowerPoint presentation, so I hope that doesn't put too many people off. I'd like to do a PowerPoint presentation. Sorry, I'm explaining this because a lot of people, as soon as they hear it's a PowerPoint presentation, they kind of switch off. But the reason I'm giving a PowerPoint presentation is so that I don't miss things and I don't wander off into diverse areas, as I have a habit of doing. So it's more of a teleprompter than it is a PowerPoint presentation. So there we go. We are ready for the presentation. So welcome to Wealth Warriors, and I refer to us as financial freedom fighters. I know that may sound a little bit grandiose, but if you understand the array of forces marshalling against you to stop you having financial freedom, you'd realize it's not going to be given by anybody. It's something you've got to rise up and take for yourself. And so that's kind of what we're doing. Nobody else is interested in your financial future except you. The government doesn't want you to be financially free or to be wealthy. Your boss certainly doesn't. There's nobody in the world is invested in your financial future. So you've got to do it. There's an old expression. People say there's 10 two-letter words, and it says, if it is to be, it is up to me. And that's it. If you want it done, you've got to do it. And if you don't do it, it won't get done. It's as simple as that. But collectively, we can band together, a band of merry men, if you like, and women, of course. Don't mean to disparage anybody. It's just that's the expression. So we band together and we learn from each other, we support each other, we work together, all in the same direction. So let's start with a disclaimer. Nothing in this presentation is to be taken as financial or investment advice. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform. We never ask you for money. And if you do decide to invest in any of the platforms discussed in this presentation, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose. Carry out your own due diligence. It's all very well me spending a lot of time and effort looking into the platforms that I recommend that we get involved with, but I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, but you can carry out your own due diligence anyway. So what is the problem with online businesses? Why do we have to worry about being wealth warriors? Why can't we just sign up in a platform, do what they say, make some money, and get on with our lives? Well, the reality is there are just too many scams out there. There are three basic problems. This is the first one. There are too many scams out there. There are so many people out there that have spent their time and effort and money setting things up so that they get money off of us so that they can take that money and run. Okay. There are just too many of them. So if we just select a number of them at random, we'll be broke long before we can long before we get to the point where we're making any money. So we want to avoid the scams. Fortunately, I'm pretty good at avoiding scams. I'm not brilliant, but I am pretty good. There's certain criteria we meet, and that doesn't mean businesses don't fail after they've met our criteria, but you can only go so far. The alternative is don't do anything, stay at home, watch the telly, and your brain dies at 55, and 25 years later your body catches up with it. But if you've still got some fight left in you, if you've still got some dreams that you want to achieve, still got some goals and some ambition, bit of fire in your belly, then you need to be doing something. And you don't want to do things just because they're there to be done. You want to do things intelligently, choose things that have a high degree of probability of succeeding. So that means avoid all the scams if you can. There's a number of businesses out there as well that are not scams, but they are not good businesses either. They look good on paper, they're set up properly, they've got good high capital investment, they've got good management and so on. So it looks like it's a good product or a good system. So there's plenty of businesses out there. They're not scams, but they fail anyway. And I don't have to tell you this, businesses If you look at your high street where you live, there are businesses that were there 5 years ago that are not there now. There's probably some businesses that were there last year that aren't there now. They're not bad people. They didn't set out to scam anybody. They just had the wrong business idea, the wrong price point, the wrong products, the wrong community. Whatever it is, something wasn't right and their business failed. That happens in the online world as well. Wherever we can identify that, then we avoid those businesses as well. And then there are some businesses that are not scams and they don't go bust, but the government decides they're going to shut them down anyway. Because government departments have power of regulation, they can say to a company, you can't trade anymore, we're going to seize all your assets. Now, there's a certain process they need to go through, but they can say that about a perfectly legitimate business. And what happens, because we're working in the crypto space or in the online space, that regulators generally just don't understand. They think that the online world is like the wild, wild west. And it is to a certain extent, but it's not quite that bad. And so they're so used to having so many people complain about businesses and and that's it, really, complain about businesses, that when enough people complain about a business, they'll say, let's look into this. Okay, it's this business. I don't really understand what they're doing, but it looks a little bit like this business over here that we shut down 3 months ago. So if it looks about the same, it's probably the same. So we're going to shut them down as well. So regulators very often don't get involved in shutting down scam businesses. They get involved shutting down businesses that are perfectly good. Or maybe that's not a true statement. Maybe it's they do shut down scams, but they also shut down legitimate businesses as well. And they claim that they're there on the side of the investor, if you like. But I've never known a government or a regulator shut down a business and then go out finding the owners of those funds and returning them. They say, that's our money now. Thank you very much. We'll enjoy that. So we don't want to get involved with businesses that stand a chance of getting shut down. And sometimes you can predict that by the things they say, the lack of licensing, the lack of insurances, just the words they use in their website and things like this. So where we can, we avoid them. It's not always possible to avoid all these things. But the point is, it doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses, you will not be financially free unless you do some other things with it. It's like you can have all the ingredients to make a cake, but you won't have a cake unless you do something with it in a certain order and apply some processes to it. So what can we do about it? Well, individually, we're doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past because we don't know what we don't know. I know it sounds silly, but we don't know what we don't know. So we're just going to keep making the same mistakes. And, or in fact, we can make similar mistakes, make completely brand new mistakes, but the net result is exactly the same. We're going to be losing our money and our time. However, collectively, we can help most of us avoid the pitfalls of the industry. We can say, well, I've seen this before, or this looks like that, or I've read this article, or I've investigated that. I've been to these offices and they don't exist, or they do exist, or I've met the managing director and he's a bit of a, a bit of a whiz, or he's a bit of an idiot. So, we feed all that information into the decision-making process. Because we're safer together, and with safety comes time. Because what we want to do, we don't want to say, this is a great online business, let's put all of our money into it. We never put all of our money into anything. That's just crazy. Okay. However, there are plenty of businesses out there and plenty of so-called business leaders who will tell you that's the way to build an online business. Take as much money as you can, get it in there, make as much money as you can, get all your money back out before it goes bust. Okay, that's kind of the boom and bust cycle of a lot of these online businesses. We're not interested in that. We're interested in businesses that are going to be around for a long time, 20, 30, 40 years, so that we can start small and build up to the point where we make a lot of money. We have a big asset in that business and make a lot of money. So what are the benefits? The absolute concrete benefits that you will realize by following the rules of Wealth Warriors is that you will never lose all of your money to a scammer again. That's not to say you won't lose some, but you won't ever lose all of it. The second benefit, which is really more important, I think, than anything else, is you will protect your permanent network of contacts. Your friends and family won't be mad at you They'll be happy to work with you and be in association with you because they see that you're not in this boom and bust cycle anymore where they lose all their money. Benefit 3, you will build future business faster with far more profit. If you do this properly, new business is much faster, much easier to build than existing or than previous businesses. Benefit 4, you'll build one business and you'll grow all the Wealth Warrior businesses. At the moment, we have 5. Soon going to be 6. May after that soon be 5 again. Who knows? We may not get to 6. Who knows? But at the moment, it's 5, and hopefully soon it'll be 6. And you don't need to promote all of those businesses. You just promote the 1 or 2 you like. And by osmosis, if you like, by introducing them to the Wealth Warriors system, they will pick up the fact that they need to look at these other businesses as well. Benefit 5, you will start small and build big over a period of time. I covered that on the last slide. Benefit 6, you can recoup loans, mortgages, and recent expenditure. Imagine being able to claim back all of the money that left your bank accounts in 2002, 2003, 2004. Any personal use bank accounts or any business use bank accounts, you can claim all of that back. And it doesn't matter why it left your bank account. It could be to pay for a holiday, buy a car, pay your mortgage, pay your tax bill. It doesn't matter why it left your bank account, you can recoup it all back again. Benefit 7, you will become free, wealthy, and live an abundant life. So this is the cake I was talking about earlier. We're going to provide all the ingredients, and we're also going to go through the process over a few years where you will become free, wealthy, and live an abundant life that you can't just achieve by having a few businesses working for you. You need to have more things in place than that. So here's a quick illustration of how it works. So at the moment, assume that we deal with 4 platforms. Assume you have 10 people in each platform, and assume that each platform is making you $1,000 per month. So let's have a look at that. So this is you. You've introduced Alan, Bell, and Chris, maybe your brother, your sister, your best friend. Okay, and they've introduced some of their friends. So you have 10 people in your platform 1 business. Doesn't matter what it does, but your income as a result of having a small team of 10 people is $1,000 per month. So let's move that out of the way. And we'll look at platform 2, because in platform 2, you introduce Alan, Bell, and Chris. Now that's easy to do because you're already in touch with them here. You've already shown them some success up here. And so you're saying to them, look, just do this again. Introduce the same people that you did before. And now your income has gone up to $1,000 per month. By $1,000 per month. So you're earning $2,000 per month. So in this case, let's suppose Chris is earning $500 a month from each platform. He's actually earning now $1,000 per month. Okay, so everybody benefits. That's not even the greatest benefit. Let's imagine now you do the same with platform 3. You introduce Alan, Bell, and Chris, and they introduce the same people in the same place. Your income goes up to $3,000 per month. And we're going to do the same now with platform 4. You introduce Alan, Bell, and Chris, who introduce the same people, and your income goes up to $4,000 per month. And so that's what we're going to do for now. That's the state of the Wealth Warriors portfolio, if you like, the Wealth Warriors community, as far as you're concerned. Chugging away at that sort of level of business, everybody involved in 4 platforms, and you're making $4,000 per month. So that's quite a nice situation to be in. But now something happens to platform 4. Maybe the person running platform 4 dies. Who knows? He might be the only one that can run the company. Maybe a regulator gets their hooks into the company. Maybe the marketplace changes and all of a sudden platform 4 is no longer profitable, and so it goes. Okay, it doesn't matter. There's a myriad of reasons why, but platform 4 goes. What happens to your income? It drops all the way from $4,000 per month to $3,000 per month. So in this position, well, if we've done this right, of course, you got back your initial investment a long time ago, so you're not out of pocket. But now, instead of having $4,000 a month, you've still got $3,000 per month. But this is the best part. The best part is that Alan, your brother, isn't cross at you because platform 4 failed, because he's still with you in platforms 1, 2, and 3. He doesn't think you've roped him into something where he's lost money and it's all your fault, and now you don't get invited to Thanksgiving and you're off the Christmas card list. Okay, Alan is quite happy. He understands that platform 4 is gone, and things like this happen from time to time. So he's not cross with you. You still have a friendship with your brother. And the same with Belle and Chris. And all of the people have maintained relationships with their people in their own permanent contact list. Okay, so nobody gets mad at anybody just because a platform fails. If you only had one platform and you convinced people to get involved in it with you and that failed, so everybody lost their money, then these people would have been cross at you. But now they're not. This is a protection mechanism. So now our job is to go and find another platform to replace platform 4, which we do. We'll call it platform 5. I know these names just come to me off the top of my head. Platform 5, you introduce Alan and Belle and Chris. Now, because they've been with you in platforms 1, 2, 3, and 4, they know the routine. As soon as you sign up in platform 5, within a few hours, they are signing up with you in platform 5. And then their people are signing up with them in platform 5 within a few hours. 10 people, a group of 10 people, you should sign up those 10 people. If you follow in the Wealth Warriors system, you should sign up those 10 people in about 2 hours from you signing up. Then everybody in that group is signed up. They've all got their business up and running. Okay. So it didn't take you, let's suppose with platform 1, it took you 2 months to put 10 people in your group. With platform 5, it would have taken you 2 hours. Okay, so you see the benefit. Platform 6, it would take you 2 hours to build up to this level. And with some of these platforms, of course, you get to, a star level or ambassador level, or a commission level or a VIP level, whatever the platform is. But 10 people in some of these platforms is enough to get you earning an extra bonus above and on top of everything else you're doing. But listen, what happens now with platform 5 in place? Your income now goes back up to $4,000 per month. So park platform 5, and that's how we carry on running for a little while. Now, what's going to continue to happen is Alan is going to introduce some more people. And every time he introduces a person to one platform, over a period of time, they'll get introduced to the other 3 platforms. The same with Chris, the same with Belle, the same with everybody. They'll all introduce people. And if they're all following the Wealth Warrior system, they won't just get involved in one platform. They will learn that all 4 platforms are good, solid businesses to get involved with. And so they do. And that's a combination of the leaders being able to explain things to them, and their willingness to participate, of course. The other thing that's going to happen, as well as people introducing more people, is that we're going to introduce more platforms. Now, there is a limit to how many platforms we can get involved with, because we don't want to spend our whole life in front of a computer just to make money. We want to have some freedom of what we do. But so one of the things we're looking for with these platforms is that they take very little time every day or every week or every month to run. Some of these platforms, you literally put your money in and you come back in 2 years' time and take your profits out. Okay, so that doesn't take anything. We can have hundreds of those types of platforms. That would be tremendous. Okay, so yeah, so that's what we're looking for. Not something that takes over your life. Nobody wants that. So what are the rules? First rule is don't sign up on any other platform that comes along. If it's a good platform, then we will adopt it at some point. People have this mentality that's put out there again by these big business builders that you need to get in first, put as much in as you can, build it as fast as you can, get your money out before the whole thing collapses. Well, we'd rather avoid businesses that are going to collapse, and so you can get in and build slowly over a long period of time. However, if you get involved in any old business that comes along, you've got to be able to check it out for yourself. So don't blame anybody if you get involved with a business that then goes bust and you lose all your money and you lose all your contacts. But worse than that, the absolute worst thing you've done is you've taught your people, the people in your community, your Wealth Warriors community, you've taught them that the system of Wealth Warriors isn't worth following, is not important. Just go and do your own thing, because that's what I'm doing. And if that's the case, by all means do it, but it's pointless you being here as part of Wealth Warriors. Okay, you won't get any of the benefits. If you say about these platforms, I like this one, but I don't like these other 4 or these other 5. Okay, it's pointless being part of Wealth Warriors. Just go and do that platform. Okay, the benefit of Wealth Warriors is that we're in all of these platforms together. We put the same people in the same positions in the same platforms every single time. And if you sign up in any other platform, you're really destroying your own community. So conversely, do sign up in all the platforms we adopt. I just kind of explained that. I got ahead of myself a little bit, but I've explained that. Do maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. That's the most important thing you can do. Do get your personally introduced people to do the same. And do support your own people by learning about all of the platforms that we adopt. You don't need to know everything, just know some of the basics, how to register, how to make a deposit, how to buy whatever it is we're buying, how to withdraw, how to introduce new people. Very, very simple steps. You'll find a lot of these platforms, they start off very simple, they get more complex over time, they introduce all sorts of things. Okay. Feel free to get involved with all that stuff. Personally, I don't. I just want to be able to make a passive income and introduce a few other people to make a passive income. That's all I'm looking for with all of these platforms. So follow the rules as best you can. Build your permanent network. Excuse me, build your permanent network and you can become wealthy and live an abundant life. Look after your community first. Put yourself before your community. And there are so many people who are in this marketplace, this network marketing, referral marketing, affiliate marketing, whatever you want to call it. And they say, I look after my people first. And then they don't. It's all about what they want, how much money they can make. Okay. And I'm not saying they don't help people. I'm saying they don't put their community first. And if you put your community first, then you will succeed. If you put yourself first, then you won't succeed. You've got to be community centric. Remember, platforms come and go. Sorry, one example, I've alluded to it just now, is when there's a new platform that comes along and you say, well, I'm going to get into this. Regardless of whether Wealth Warriors gets into it at a later stage, I'm going to get into this. Just by doing that means you're destroying your community. You're not putting your community first. If you want your community, if you want to put your community first, then the way to do it is to wait for Wealth Warriors, bring it to our attention by all means, but wait for us to adopt that platform. Then we're all singing off the same song sheet. And you might think, well, that's, the kind of crazy. Why would I do that? The reason you would do that is because of what I said just now. When we introduce a new platform, it will take you a few days to sign up the 1,000-strong community that you have in your business. It won't take you 2 years to build 1,000 people in that other business. It will only take you a few days. So that's why you do it. If you are constantly thinking, I've got to get ahead of the game, I've got to be the first one in, I've got to get the early mover advantage, I've got to get the free pack for joining before this date. If you think that, then you're being misled, you're being brainwashed by all the hype, the people that just want to hype things up, get people in, get a lot of money in fast, and make the money and get out before it all goes horribly wrong. Okay, so don't fall for that. Don't get me wrong, fall for it if you want to. Okay, but if you want to build a meaningful community, then you've got to put the community first, not yourself. And by getting into platforms first to try and get everybody else in after you, that's putting yourself first. Remember, platforms come and go, but community is permanent. And can you imagine this? I was talking to somebody about this the other day. You spend time building a community, and we've got 4 or 5 platforms. And so you get all of your people into all of those platforms, nice and neat, everything's working perfectly. Then you decide to go and get into another platform, and you're so excited about it. You promote that to everybody in your community, but Wealth Warriors itself hasn't adopted that platform. And that's the one everybody puts a lot of money in and loses everything within a couple of months. You've completely destroyed yourself. You've destroyed your financial future just by doing that, because platforms come and go. I'd like to think the platforms we're working with now, we're going to be working with them in 5 or 10 years' time. But if not, we'll be working on some other platforms that are just as good. It's the community that's permanent. And that's why we want to adopt, obviously, a permanent community. So we have a number of criteria for adopting a platform. We don't just say, oh, this one's good, this one's bad, based on a feeling. We spend a lot of time investigating platforms. So it must be available for everyone in the world. Imagine if we adopted a platform that's not available in, let's say the US, okay, but you have some of your team, your Wealth Warriors team are in the US. All of a sudden, they're excluded from part of your business. Well, we won't do that. We won't adopt a platform if it's not available for everyone. And it might be a great business, might be the best business in the world. Doesn't matter. If everybody can't do it, nobody's doing it. And businesses like that, I do actually write them up and I say, this is a good business. We're not doing it, but it's a good business. If you've got some spare time, some spare cash, by all means, go ahead and do it. And the fact that we're not doing it doesn't take away from the fact that you can do it. But if I say there's a platform there that we won't be adopting, then that's a completely different thing. A platform must have a unilevel compensation plan. It's, straightforward, nice and simple, because you'll see why in a minute. People must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for a very low entry cost, $100, $200. You can get involved for more if you want to, but we don't want to be excluding any of our community from joining a new platform based on the price they'd have to pay to get in, the entry price. So if we can achieve 1, 2, and 3, then we can maintain lines of sponsorship across all the platforms. The business must be a real business, not one of these things where they say, give us $1,000 and we'll give you 5% a day for 5 days, without telling you what they're doing to make that money. If it's trading, let's see the trading, how they're trading. Let's see the results. If it's arbitrage, great, let's see it. If it's buying something, well, let's see the ownership. If it's contracts, let's see the contracts. Okay, so whatever it is, we want to be able to verify that it's a real world application, not just pie in the sky. Criteria for adopting a platform still, number 5, we must be able to verify the company's legal status. If it's a company involved. With some of these deals, it's a smart contract. There's no company behind it. The smart contracts are set up and the whole thing runs on kind of autopilot. But if it's, and the only way really to verify a smart contract, we can't take it apart and have a look at the code. But if we could, of course, that would verify it. But if we see some of these contracts coming to fruition, that shows that the contract is working. There's really no other proof you can have beyond that. But if it's a company, we can check its legal status, its involvement in real world activities, the repute of management, the licensing, the registration of the company, the insurance of the company, I don't know, just everything, financial filings, everything. Okay, so that's what we check into if it's a company involved. And if it's possible, we want to meet the CEO or the business owner. And the compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. You wouldn't believe how many compensation plans I've looked at that look good on paper, but there's no way the company can sustain that. The membership of Wealth Warriors must all be able to get behind the project. So some people are, they have sort of moral objections to gambling and money lending and things like that. I'm stealing, obviously. Hopefully we all have. Or maybe not everyone, but a lot of people do. So, anything that's slightly untoward, we just don't do that. Also, if something's too speculative, like, buy this NFT and break it up into 1 million pieces and sell each piece for $1, that sort of thing. I don't know if you've seen any of those, or buying horses, these virtual horses and training them and winning races and breeding them with other horses and things like that. It may be great fun. It may be a business, but I don't think it's something that all of our membership will get involved with. So what platforms have we adopted? The first one is Republic of Old Souls. It used to be called Matrix Freedom. And as part of the freedom movement, they will help us recoup recent expenditures. I mentioned earlier about bank accounts, past mortgages that you took out. You can claim the money back for those. Mortgages you currently have, you can get them discharged. Okay, you can reclaim any loans and so on. You can also create currency just going forward. You could say, well, I need $500,000 to live this year, so you create $500,000. And next year you say, I now need another $500,000. But if you're smart, what you'll actually be doing is doing this infinite money protocol, which is where you, for example, you recoup a mortgage, You claim back $200,000 from a mortgage you had 10 years ago, put that into your bank, spend the money. Then next year, you claim back the money that left your bank account, which now includes that $200,000. I forget what figure I used. And so you recoup that in the second year and put that in your bank and spend it. So in the third year, you recoup all of that again. And so it's just an infinite money loop. It's very clever. There are plenty of different protocols for the mortgages and the loans and currency creation and just so many different things. BitHarvest. BitHarvest is a business that basically provides their business is to sell these electronic devices, and those electronic devices connect up to Bitcoin mining farms and earn you a passive income every day, and that passive income is paid to you in Bitcoin every single day. BitNex, great little business. And this is run by smart contracts. So this is one of the businesses you can't verify, except I've seen so many people post videos and screenshots and so on of these contracts maturing, and they receive the payouts that are expected of these contracts. So you can purchase a smart contract for $100. You can purchase a pack of contracts for $1,000, 15 contracts for $1,000. And you decide whether the contract is going to run for 2, 3, 5, or 7 years. Typically, a 2-year contract will return over $20,000, and a 3-year contract will return over $35,000. If you want to know what the 15-year pack, so 15 contract pack works out at for $1,000, then you just multiply both those figures by 15, and that's what you would end up with after 2 years or 3 years. I'm not going to tell you the figures for the 5 years and 7 years because it's silly money, and you won't believe me anyway. So if you don't believe me for the 2 and 3 years, you won't believe me for the 5 and 7 years. And then there's Veralio. Veralio is an AI trading system that was developed a number of years ago, and it was basically put on the shelf by the developer because they needed too much data, too much information in order to make this system work properly. The depth of data that needed to be mined before making every single trade was enormous, and people just couldn't do it. And I've done some trading with cryptocurrencies, and I didn't look at very the depth of trading books and so on and so forth very much at all. I looked at patterns and used indicators and that sort of thing. But it took a lot of time, a lot of effort to come up with signals. And even then, a lot of them were not really suitable for making money. So you sort of don't do that anymore. But where Veralio wins is that they've teamed it up with an AI engine called Octavia AI. And Octavia AI, as well as looking at the 8 major indicators for cryptocurrency, making moves, she's also ingested over 5 years worth of data about everything to do with cryptocurrencies, government reports, newspaper reports, earnings reports, just everything. If you go through the economic calendar and see how many different items are in that calendar every day, every week, every month, every year, and she's ingested all of that data for the last 5 years, as well as the trend of every single currency pair, 243 different currency pairs. So she's getting really, really good now at predicting good trades, and that's all it is, a prediction service. But if you there are certain things you can see. If something pulls back, the next thing it's going to do is move forward and so on. When it goes forward, it's going to pull back. So the same is true with trade currency charts. So that's good. Now that's been on hold for a few weeks. They launched it a couple of months ago, but it's been on hold because there's been a number of things to be corrected, if you like, a number of things to be brought up to date. We're kind of hoping that's going to be released again in the next couple of days. Then there is a business called eEstate. And eEstate is about tokenized real estate. In tokenized real estate, basically what they do is there's a property company involved called Eli Property Group Incorporated, who they go and source properties and they bring it to us and tokenize it, and we take that property for a number of tokens. Now the tokens the price of the tokens are related directly to the price of the property. Okay, so each token is worth about $10, and if you have a £1 million apartment in Miami, or so $1 million apartment in Miami, then $10 per token means that that apartment has got 100,000 tokens allocated to it, EST tokens, and so you can buy 10 of those tokens. You could buy 100, you could buy 53, you could buy 917. You buy as much of each real estate as you want. And these properties, we've got 10 of them at the moment. We're expanding that very rapidly. And so these 10 properties are all over the world, different parts of the world. So you can build a global portfolio of property for very little money. A few $1,000s will see you with a very nice property portfolio that earns you money every single day, that you can either reinvest back into the property or you can withdraw it. And then after 18 months of earning you really, really good profits, so typically you would earn back in the first 18 months, you would earn back your investment 2.5 to 3 times, depending which investment you make, between 2.5 and 3 times. And after that, you then get a 10% yield for the next however many years we've got hold of that property, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 10% yield every year. So that's an awesome real estate business. With all of these businesses, there's the opportunity to make additional rewards with team building. Each of the team building systems are slightly different, but you can see that with Wealth Warriors, when we adopt a new platform, we already have a team already built. Just give everybody the referral links and everybody signs up. Everybody buys their first property, for example. Everybody buys their first boosters. Everybody buys their first contracts, all within a few hours. So we have a proposed new platform, and this is looking quite good. I've been promised that I'm going on a Zoom call, and I've been saying this for a few days now. I've been promised to meet some people on a Zoom call that are spearheading this platform. But what I do like about it is it's got 2 years of 2-year track record of testing, and we'll look at that in a minute. So it's automated trading in cryptocurrency. Now, I don't like to have two platforms in the same space, because if you have, for example, if we had all of our platforms in arbitrage, and all of a sudden there was a change of regulations and we weren't allowed to do arbitrage anymore, we've lost all of our businesses. Whereas if we've only got one arbitrage business, then we only lose one of those businesses. So I don't like to have too many businesses in any one sector, but I think the crypto industry can stand to have two, possibly. We'll see how Zopair works out. We'll see how Viralio works out. The thing about both of these trading platforms is your funds are safe in your own exchange account. They're as safe there as they are anywhere except in your own cold wallet or in your own wallet. What I would say is don't store a lot of money in an exchange account. An exchange account is just for money you're going to be using for trading. If you're going to be saving your money, make sure it's in your cold wallet. At the very least, make sure it's in your own non-custodial wallet, because while the money is in Bitcoin, in Coinbase, or in Binance, or in Kraken, it's not your money. It's their money. If the government says, your government says to Binance, don't let that person have access to those funds, that's it, you're cut off. Okay, so don't have all of your money in the exchange accounts, but have enough there that you can trade. $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 maybe in your trading account, the rest of your fortune stored in a cold wallet. So Zopair is set to launch in 2026 in January. So it's not up and running just yet, but what we're doing right now is we are building teams. We still need to get a little bit more information about Zopair, but we are building teams right now, getting ready to hit the ground running when it launches in January. You can keep your money in any one of 8 different exchanges. So 8 isn't a massive number, but it's enough. There's something for everyone. You know, if you can't have this one because it's in the UK, you can have that one because it's in the US. If you can't have that one because you like to use Tron for your trading, but you can have that one because they do deal with Tron. So there's enough choice there with 8 exchanges. There's also a manual signals service where the platform will present to you what it thinks is a good trade, and it'll say this has got a 60% probability of succeeding, and you can manually click the button and take it. We'll look at that on the site in a minute. Sorry, on a slide that I've got. So I should have changed this. I believe this is now a $50,000 demo account for every person to learn and understand. The great thing about a $50,000 demo account is it gives people confidence. Brand new person joins, doesn't cost them any money. They set up the demo account, and then they can see it working. And then they say, you know, if that was my own money, if I had a live account, I'd have made $200 today. So then they set up their live account. So it's kind of an easy in. It helps people get in and understand and develop confidence, but it's also kind of saying to them, look at how good it could have been if you'd put your own money in. So it's it's a good system for us to use. And there's a great team building compensation plan as well. The records of trading go back to April 2025. So this is the records. And you can see down here, you got the what they call the ticker, the currency pair, the asset, if you like. The direction, whether it's green or red, doesn't matter. Red is short, as in we're predicting it's going down. Green is long, in other words, we're predicting it's going up. So it doesn't mean anything more than that. There's the entry price, so you can take this this date over here and find this coin, or this pair, I should say, at that entry point, and you can see that you know, if we'd have gotten in there, we would have made this much money. We got a 5x leverage on the money. I like that. I'm not massively keen on leverage. If you have a 50 times leverage, or 100, or even crazily 200x leverage, then sure, you can make huge money, but boy, you can lose all your money just as quick. You hear the expression, people blowing up their account, and it's really because they got in at too high a leverage, and the first trade, or the trade they took, went against them. Maybe not even massively, but it was enough just to demolish their account. So 5x is good. It's not enough to cause concern, but it's good enough as well to give us really, really good profit. So let's look at these figures here. We have the P&L, profit and loss. Okay, so this is, if it's green, it means we won. If it's red, it means we lost. Up here, we've got some remarks that the AI trading engine has put in. It's this saying, I gave 4 targets for these trades, and I hit all of them. This one, it hit the stop loss, but interestingly, even though it hit the stop loss, we still made money. And this one, we hit the stop loss, we still made money. So really, out of all of these trades, 20 trades, we only lost money on one. These two here didn't hit all their targets. They hit some of them, and then they hit the stop loss. And then the other thing I like about this is that the duration isn't days, weeks, months. It's 39 minutes, about 12 hours, about 2 hours, about 12 hours, about 10 minutes. That was a bit long, about 2 days. 17 hours, 1 hour, 1 hour. So you're not sat there waiting forever for trades to close. So I like this. I like this system, and that's why we're looking at it. It's available for us now. You can get a referral link from your upline and join. And then, you know, we're going to be finding out more and more about this system over the next few weeks. So, Kinesis money. Let's just talk briefly about Kinesis money. I've looked at many banking systems. I've been recommended banking systems by people for many years. When I look at them, they're not suitable for what I want and what we need as wealth warriors. So I've never gotten involved in any. Some of the platforms we work with have their own built-in kind of banking system, a Visa card and things like that, MasterCard. I've never gotten involved in any of those either because they don't meet our needs. However, Kinesis money is geared up alongside the Republic of Old Souls, and if it's suitable for that, then it's suitable for everything else. So as we move from being a person to one of we the people, as we become a real person, not a legal person, we're going to need sophisticated ways of accessing our money, because one of the control points that governments and financial institutions have on us is they can control how and how much, so how we can access our money. where we can get it, how much we can get, and so on. So we need something like Kinesis Money to make sure we get away from that control, which of course we will be doing. But if we get free from all that control, but they've still got control of our bank accounts, then we're not really free. So Kinesis Money will help us with that. It will meet our current and future needs, and it can belong to you as an individual. And some of you will know what I mean when I say, or your private estate. Because eventually, to become financially free, you will need to set up everything in your own, in trusts and in private trusts. And so this bank account will allow your private trusts to have access to your Kinesis account, and you can have access to the private trust as well. So it's kind of an easy way for you, for your money to be protected, but also to be available for your use. So going forward, this is going to be tremendous. We do have a video winging its way to us. I'm a little disappointed that the video we did with Kinesis Money 10 days ago now hasn't been released to us. They wanted to do a very small edit, and they haven't released it after that. So hopefully they will very soon. And as soon as they do, I will post it for us. Kinesis has a worldwide footprint, so you can operate as a citizen of the universe. You're not constrained to pounds because you're in the UK, or dollars because you're in America, Canada, Australia, okay, or euros because you're in Europe. You can use whichever currency is most convenient for you. You can also make deposits and withdrawals in several fiat currencies, several cryptocurrencies, and several different precious metals. So if you have gold and silver and you want it stored properly and to have ready access to it, to be able to spend it, then you can put it into your Kinesis account and you can spend it from there. A lot of people have gold and silver, but they don't really have any idea how they can spend that gold and silver if they need to. So there is a partner reward program, and it's not really an affiliate type thing, although I recommend that we do maintain lines of sponsorship in Kinesis Money the same as we do in everything else we do. However, the way to consider these fees is, imagine you introduce somebody to your existing bank, they might give you $50 and give your friend $50 for joining with them. It's that kind of thing. These people are saying we're going to give you between 10 and 20% based on your partner's transaction fees. So that can go on for many, many years. And of course, as they become more and more wealthy, then their transaction fees will be more and more money. So that's not really the reason to introduce somebody to this platform. It's part of the ethos, if you like, of Wealth Warriors, to be able to access our money wherever we are, wherever we want to, however we want to. So that's why you would introduce your community to this. The partner reward program pays your commissions in gold and silver every month, which I think is kind of neat. And you can also move the value of your fiat money, your cryptocurrency, and your precious metals onto your Kinesis MasterCard, and you can spend it on the high street. And you can actually set up an order of priorities for your for spending money. You might say, well, my Bitcoin's gone up, so I want to spend some of it. And so you put that top of the list. Well, my gold's quite high, so I'm going to spend, so I've just made some good profit on that, so I'm going to spend that, make that your second priority, and so on. And so you go to buy something on your MasterCard, and it takes it out of your Bitcoin account first. And when that's gone, the next transactions come out of your gold, and then the next transactions come out of your fiat currency, and so on. So it's a very, very clever system. You also get cashback rewards. They audit their gold and silver holdings, and you can spend your gold and silver quickly and easily on the MasterCard. So that's the end of the information about the platforms. The rest of this is about Wealth Warriors. I'm going to skip through it fairly quickly. We run a super Telegram super group, so get added to that. Bring people. So come to this Zoom call every Sunday at 10, and so attend yourself and bring new people. It's a shortcut to fast growth. I'm not going to say any more about that, but we'll cover it in a few minutes. Attend the Zoom calls of the platforms. Each of the platforms we have adopted have their own Telegram groups, so get on board with those. I also do a slightly different presentation on a Wednesday evening where I spend about 10 or 15 minutes on each of the different platforms. Sometimes I go into the support side of the platforms. Sometimes people want me just to focus on one or two of the platforms, but we talk more platformy stuff on a Wednesday Zoom call than we do on a Sunday, because this is about wealth warriors, not really about the platforms themselves. So with the Republic of Old Souls, you can sign up for free, then start working your way through the webinars and books at your own pace. But get it started. It's an education program. They don't do it for you. They teach you how to do it all for yourself. And it really is, well, it's a big lot of information to absorb, but you need to get competent at that sort of thing so that you can become financially free and wealthy. And it's worth the investment in your knowledge and information. So what do you do now? You get the referral links from all the platforms from the person who invited you to this presentation. So you might be with us in one of these platforms or two of these platforms. Get back to the person who introduced you to Wealth Warriors and say, right, I need the other 2 links. I need the other 3 links. Talk to me about them. When can we get together? Let's do one platform tomorrow, one the next day, one the next day. Even if you don't actually put money into those platforms, get registered. You'll see why in a minute. So you register in all the opportunities and make a note of all your referral links, and then you pass those links on to your people. Make a minimum payment into all the opportunities. If you can't do that, just fund the ones that interest you the most, but sign up in all of them, because the people you introduce, you may say, well, I like platform 1, and then you introduce people, but you don't like platform 2, so you're not going to introduce anybody to platform 2. Well, that's not fair on the people in your team who don't like platform 1, but they would be excited to get into platform 2. You're actually cutting your nose off to spite your face. So if they get involved in platform 2 and you haven't yet registered, you've broken the line of sponsorship. But if you haven't funded yet, you don't get the commissions. Fine. Forego the commissions. Know that further down the line, when you fund that account, you will start receiving the commissions. Don't be so petty-minded that you say, I'm going to miss out on $10 worth of commissions or $50 worth of commissions, so I'm going to hold everybody else back in my team. That's not being community-centric. That's being selfish. Okay, so don't do that. Get everybody in your team involved in all of the platforms. Ask to be added to the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. Attend a Zoom call or watch a video for each platform you've attended. So you've added funds to your account. If we now add platform 6 or platform 7, chase up your upline. Get a referral link from them. Come on, hurry up. I want to join this. Do that as quickly as possible. Pass your referral link to your existing team as quickly as possible. And then get on a presentation for that new platform as soon as you possibly can. Grow your Wealth Warriors community by bringing more people to the Wealth Warriors Zoom calls or by sharing this video from YouTube. Now, the reason I say that is because I can't explain Wealth Warriors, the system I've just explained to you. I can't explain that to people in a conversation. There's too many questions, too much back and forth. I might forget some information and so on. So what I do is I bring people to this Zoom call, or I send them a copy of this video or one from previous Sundays. And I have the video explain Wealth Warriors. So I signed them up in one platform that they were interested in, that I was talking to them about, and then I introduce them to Wealth Warriors by showing them a video. And then I get with them and introduce them to the other platforms. Now they know what we're doing. So that's kind of how I do it. You only have to promote the 1 or 2 platforms that you're excited about, and then bring your new members over here, and they'll find out why they should sign up in all the other platforms. That's how you build one platform and how 5 or more platforms grow below you. You're doing one lot of work and it multiplies out. And not only that, if you consider how multiplication works, if you have a team of people doing the same, not only one of your businesses grows, they all grow. And it's just cool the way it works. I'm not going to talk about the registration system or the landing pages. That's all available. I'll talk about that again on Wednesday. Marketing materials are all available here. I'm going to skip through it fairly quickly. Okay, and take a screenshot of that if you need to, or come back and watch this on the video or previous videos. I do this on previous videos, exactly the same information. Okay, and you'll find that useful information. So why are we doing this? We're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We're not reliant on one platform. We're not reliant on one set of upline being there to excuse me, being there to help us succeed. If something happens to them, that platform, the people that run the platform, the regulations that govern that platform, anything at all, we're not dependent on that. We have enough irons in the fire, if you like, that if one fire goes out, we can still operate, we can still work towards freedom with the other platforms, and then we can build another fire and get another fire on the go, get another iron in that other fire. We aim to work with companies that are in it for the long term. We only work with companies that are above board as far as we can tell. Some companies are really, really good at hiding things they don't want you to see, but we also manage to ferret a lot of it out with a lot of companies. We build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income. So the idea is we start small, build big, that whatever we've built big, whether it's boosters or contracts or plans or whatever it is, we aim to have a lot of it so that large asset can produce a large income. We're very strict with our criteria, and we apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes. We don't want to be beholden to anybody else. It's our game, it's our football. We're not dependent on anybody else. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. You only need to make one mistake and years of hard work can be wiped out. You'll see how in a minute. So do not share your password or other credentials with anyone. Where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts. And if you don't know what this is or how to do it, there'll probably be an FAQ in that platform that tells you how to do it. Otherwise, Google 2FA or phone your introducer and find out how to do it. The 2FA is vitally important. It's your only protection. It's the only protection you have of that account that you're in control of. The username and password, and even a security password, if that company gets hacked, then you've lost all of that protection. The only protection you've got that you control is your 2FA. And if you have that set up, nobody can touch your money. So back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. Personally, I say write it down, keep it safe. If you've got a safe, put it in the safe. It's the most important information you can have, besides your will, probably, your will and testament. And make sure the executors of your will, your living will, your power of attorney, or your beneficiaries have access to this information in the event of your incapacitation or death. Okay, it would be a shame for you to spend years building up a small fortune in Bitcoin, and when something happens to you, nobody even knows you've got any Bitcoin, let alone where it is or how to get it. Okay, so make sure that information's available, but also make sure it's safe. The great thing about writing things on a bit of paper is you can't hack a piece of paper. However, if it's left lying around somewhere, somebody else can get hold of it that way. So physically protect it. Like I said, put it in the safe. So that's it. Welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. Get back to the person who invited you on this call or referred you to this video. They are ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network, and create immense personal wealth. So I'm going to switch off the recording. We'll go back to the room, and I will tell you that I do this Zoom call again on Sunday evening, every Sunday, 10 p.m. UK time. I'll look forward to seeing you then. Bring some friends, and let's build this thing together.
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.